Hello, YouTube family. How are you guys doing? It has been a long 4 months. I hope you guys have been well. I know I have been. And yeah, let's just jump into the topic of this video. So, as my baby walks in with a helmet, what are you doing? Really? So today I wanted to talk about herbs and kids because I get questions about this a lot, especially as an herbalist. This just naturally comes up in conversation. Um, so I wanted to talk about 5 specific herbs that you can start using in your home apothecary for your kids, as little as infant age to, you know, their childhood years and their teenage years, depending on what they need. So before I continue, I want to put out a disclaimer in addition to my disclaimer that's already on my channel here. So for these plants, if you're not familiar with your child's allergies and what they may get a reaction to, I would highly suggest. What are you doing? You want to be up here? I would highly suggest doing a skin test before you use any kind of herb on your child. So that way, you just avoid that debacle in general. And that way, that's information for you. So that way, if your child is allergic to something, then you know to avoid that herb in particular. This is common with daisy plants, the Asteraceae family. What else? Some locals here like you're saying hi. Some locals here like Solidago, goldenrod, people tend to be allergic to. So those are just a few things to keep in mind. So with that being said, let's just dive into these 5 herbs. All right, so the first herb is nettle leaf, stinging nettles. Now, depending on where you are in the world, you can wild harvest this. However, this is a readily available plant, and it has a lot of lovely properties to it. It's really rich in minerals. It has vitamin A, vitamin C, vitamin K, what else? Iron. Sorry, I'm out of pregnancy. A lot of minerals like magnesium, a little bit of calcium. So it's very fortifying, especially as the little ones are growing for their bones, especially. It's really nice. And then, of course, if they need those minerals in their diet, nettle leaf is a great way to add it in there. Now, since it is a nutritive tea, it is very earthy. So you could pair it with, citrus, like a homemade lemonade, into your like a tincture, like a glycerite based tincture, which is really nice. That's what we have in my business actually. We make it with nettle leaf in there. Yeah, and so it's great topically as well. Not directly because if you've been near or around nettle leaf, as my oldest has experienced this growing season, you don't want to handle it with bare hands unless you have some sort of nervous disorder, especially with RA. It's really therapeutic. Otherwise, it's very annoying. But it can be used in salves, topical salves, for that same reason, but without the stinging effect as well. Now, nettle leaf, I would recommend, but if you can't get your hands on nettle leaf, a good alternative to that one would be red raspberry leaf, which has similar properties, except red raspberry leaf has the benefit of, you get to eat the berries, which our little ones love to do a lot. So, nettle leaf, I would highly recommend. Second herb for babies and children would be dill. Dill mainly because, little ones, as their digestive system gets used to different things, going from breast milk to formula to solid foods, mushy foods, you know, within a year span. It's a lot of adjustments for the digestive system, and so that can cause a lot of discomfort and uneasiness. So with gas and bloating, sometimes even constipation. So with dill, what it does is it acts as a carminative, and it helps to break down, you know, whatever that stagnicity is, whether it's gas or bloating. It helps to break that down, and make digestion more smooth for your little one. It's also nice for upper respiratory issues, as it is antispasmodic as well. And it's also just really good in food. That's how we incorporate it into our kids' diet. So especially during this time of the year, as it's summer, we do a lot of like salads, especially if, you know, if you're growing your own garden, you can harvest most of these foods from your backyard. So this would be, you know, potato salads, cucumber salads, tomato salads. This makes me think of this traditional salad. It's Kenyan. It's called kuchambari, and it's just tomatoes, cucumber. You could add whatever herb or spice you want into it, really, and it's really, really good and refreshing. So dill, add that to your apothecary. Second or third, rather, would be hibiscus. I'm looking at it now because this is just off the top of my head. Hibiscus. So we grew hibiscus not last year, but the year before, 2019. It is such a wonderful plant. And I'm talking about Hibiscus sabdifaria. And this is, or it's also known as roselle. And, you know, cultures from all over the world, whether it's the West Indies, the Caribbean, North Africa, East and West Africa, honestly, all of Africa uses this plant, including South, in their teas. It's called sour tea, other different names as well. It's very well incorporated into different cultures. And it's very high in vitamin C. It's an antioxidant rich plant, which is nice, you know, to add that component into your lifestyle. As antioxidants, they help, you know, especially now in the modern world, we're exposed to so many different free radicals, whether it's from mold exposure or, you know, natural fragrances, flavorings, so many different things that we are bombarded with. So to be aware of that and to take control in your own home, and by introducing these antioxidants, you can mitigate or neutralize how these free radicals interact on a cellular level in your body, which is pretty powerful. So hibiscus can do that for you. It's also a really fun plant to grow. You know, if you eat it by itself. I remember we went to pick from a local farm a couple years ago, and I went there with our daughter at the time, our oldest. Oh no, was Brianna born? No, she wasn't. We went there with our oldest, and he said that if you just eat them, they taste like sour candy. And honestly, it tastes so good. It tastes like sour candy. It's so good and refreshing, just raw. This is the calyx aspect of the flower. So you can eat them raw, straight from the plant. You can dry them and then make them in different, you know, teas. Teas are honestly, I'd recommend. I've been making it here. I make a tea in our shop. It's called Blooming Radiance. It's a bestseller. People love it. And it has the hibiscus flowers in there. And my little one, whenever I make it, she'll come and she'll be like, she would ask for some. So it's really, really nice. And of course, you can pair it with other plants. Citrus is really nice with it. Lemongrass is beautiful with hibiscus, which is also another tropical plant. And they grow well together. So hibiscus, I'll definitely recommend into your apothecary. All right, so the fourth herb I would recommend for your little ones would be thyme. Now, not only does it taste good over your meats, your savory dishes, your beans and legumes, it's also an antibacterial plant, and it's also very nutritious as well. It's bone fortifying as well as a few of the other herbs that we've gone over, like dill and nettle leaf. Yes, come on, climb up, girl. Pull up. Pull up. Come on. Mm-mm. Now, thyme is reputable, is known for its compound, the volatile oil, the thymol oil. Now, this, of course, you can get it from the plants as well. If you need it isolated, yes, if you need it isolated, of course, you can get it in the essential oil for more acute applications. Yeah, so if you need it for more acute applications, you can use the essential oil. Otherwise, the plant itself is just fine. And it's also antispasmodic. So if you have, especially if you have little ones with upper respiratory issues that are recurring, so sinuses, honestly, mucus and phlegm, because that's a thing with little ones. Although it shouldn't be, it is. What else? Asthma, all these other upper respiratory ailments, you can utilize thyme either by itself as a tea, or you can use it in your baths. Either in a bath or even doing like a facial steam is really beneficial for those purposes. And lastly, the fifth herb. This was really hard, but I had to decide and go with lemon balm. I had to pick a nervine, of course, that's essential to have in your home. Now, lemon balm, you could also use chamomile, but I went with lemon balm just because it's great for cold sore applications, which tend to be a thing with little ones, as they're outside, as they're with other kids, especially if there's a genetic component in there as well. Cold sores are a thing. So lemon balm is also, like I mentioned, it's a nervine, so it's calming. It's not a heavy calming plant as hops is or passion flower. It's on the lighter side as chamomile is, and it also helps with modulating the GABA receptors in the brain. So that just helps your body cope with stressful moments better. Hey. And that's why it's also nice, if your child is prone to anxious moments, or if they do have anxiety, if they have been diagnosed, lemon balm is nice to you're saying hi, is nice to add to their lifestyle. So of course you can make this as a tea. That one I would highly that one I would highly suggest as a tea. You can also make a tincture out of it for a more potent application. However, I'll start with tea, so that way you can know the plant better without it being like in your face, if that makes sense. All right, so that is it. Those are the 5 herbs I recommend for your babies and your little ones. Honestly, they're also really great plants for everyone to use in the house, depending on who it is. Especially if you're a pregnant mother, if you're breastfeeding. Hibiscus, if you know that there is, if there is, a tendency for hypertension in your family, those are different aspects that you can still apply those plants. So yeah, I would highly recommend those 5. And until then, I'm going to go make dinner, and I'll see you guys in the next video. I'll probably give you guys an update because there's been a lot of stuff going on. So until next time, peace to you all.